Welcome, StarCraft fans. We are on the final day of Intel Extreme Masters San Jose, and we have 8 players left. 4 matches, then we get into our semifinals before we crown a single champion. On the line here, not just money, not just pride, but also those coveted WCS points. And playing in our first match today, getting one step closer to this beautiful trophy, we have, first up, herO! I'm so sorry. What do you want to do now? And his opponent, Snoot! These are our 2 players today for the first match of Intel Extreme Masters San Jose. Gentlemen, are you ready? Are you feeling prepared? All right, why don't we shake hands? I'm gonna send you to your booth. Thank you so much. Casters, take it away.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Did you see that look on herO's face when he shook his hand? And Snoot is like, I know what I did last time and I'm gonna do it all over again. For the people who haven't been following the Intel Extreme Masters season this closely, they played against each other twice. Snoot won those series in Toronto, and it's not just the fact that he won 2 times 2-1, it's the fact that these games delayed the entire tournament for 3.5 hours. Like, we finished up 2 a.m. I think in Toronto back then, Johan, and there's a good chance that this series is going to take quite a while.
I don't think there are too many players that have a 100% win rate against herO, and Snoot might actually be the only one, which is funny if you think about the fact that herO, he's ranked number 2 in Protoss versus Zerg on Aligulac. That means he's obviously pretty good in the matchup. Now, there is a guy who's beat him before, and I think it's just going to be so interesting to see if history repeats itself here, or if herO is just basically bound to make another finals here. Because on paper, when I looked at the bracket last night, I thought, well, I guess there is only 2 Protosses in the top 8, but surely this could be a PvP finals. And now all of a sudden, 4GG right now is 2-2 up against Rain. And Snoot here, I do think he's going to have a decent chance at beating herO.
I think he has a very decent shot, but I am going to disagree a little bit with the man on the desk, just because maybe it's how they say, Johan, you're a product of your own environment, and whenever I'm sitting next to you, I just want to disagree with everybody. I don't know why. Like, I
just bring it out.
I think it's just your aura, but I do think that herO is a small favorite going into this series. I love Snoot, and I'm a big fan. I'd be so happy to see him advance, but as someone like herO, he has had plenty of time to think about that. I'm pretty sure after Toronto as well, he went back. He's like, man, something went really wrong here. I'm going to have to be prepared. I'm going to have to be ready to deal with Swarmos in the future, and I'm pretty sure that he's put quite a bit of effort into it and getting better of dealing with those units. So I think he's a small favorite going into this series, but we'll see. I think it's going to be an amazing best of 5, and I'm so hyped that this is going to be our first one of the day.
Yeah, you know, herO on paper, I would say if Snoot was a standard player, he would definitely be the overwhelming favorite. The thing is, Snoot has his own style that I really feel like he's the best at by far. And I'm not sure just how much practice herO can get on the Korean server up against this. That's really also why he struggled the last time they met. You know, they ended up playing this very long game that I was watching on Nimbus, where basically the map kind of ran out of minerals, and herO was saving up a lot of money. He didn't have too much of an army. He didn't have any Colossus or anything like that anymore, and he was up against a lot of Thwarmos. So he said, you know what, I'm just going to make a ton of charge lots and Archons and try and end the game. Ran into Locust, got fungled, lost the game. With his last few units, he was literally out of minerals. So now, today, he's gonna wanna look to basically do better before that. He's not gonna wanna get into the situation where the map is already split and is in a situation where every time he's trading not cost effectively in this case, which against Snoot is always gonna be difficult. He always gets, you know, the good amount of static defense here and there. And the main thing about Snoot's Swarmo style is that as soon as he started losing with it, because he was going roaches into Swarmos, he started adding Hydralisks to the mix. And that made him so strong against all-ins and against anything really that you could throw at him in terms of War Prism harassment and all that.
Look at the amount of A's that Snoot has in his last name, Johan. He has like 4 A's in an 8
quadruple A.
If I was Snoot, I'd be playing poker all day, man. It's like pocket aces all day, every day. And maybe that's why he's playing the Swarmos, as we often call them. It's a sort of an ace up on the Zerg sleeve. Whenever they're behind, they can always fall back to it. Snoot loves playing around with them, and I totally agree with everything you just said. He's very good in realizing when he has to get static defenses. He's very good when he realizes, like, maybe I should get a few more units out, because I think my Protoss opponent is going to go all out trying to finish me right here and now. And if I make a bunch of roaches and complement the locusts that I already have with these roaches, get a good engagement, the game is over. But like we said, it's been a long time since Toronto. It seems like herO should be better prepared, and he seems tense, but I still think he's ready for this series. This is the map win. It's very important, especially with someone like Snoot's playstyle. King Sejong first, Overgrove second map. I think that is a must win for Snoot, in my opinion.
By the look of things, I think herO probably vetoed Foxtrot, and then Snoot vetoed Deadwing. So it makes a lot of sense, you know. Nimbus here could be played as a fourth map, and their last game on Nimbus, that was a pretty long one.
Yeah, that went over an hour. Like, that went up to the point where at a certain point herO, all he could make was Stalkers and Zealot, because he was too broke and there was no more money on the left. And he actually did a lot better with Stalkers and Zealot than he did with Tempest and Colossus. So he sort of found a way to work with it, but back then that was a different game. We're not going to talk too much about it anymore. Just now, a very, very big series for Snoot. He made it to the quarterfinals in Toronto, but then he fell against Flash. This time he wants to improve upon that record. He wants to go all the way, or at least make it to the semifinals. He would be the first foreigner in quite a while to make it to the semifinals, I guess. Who was the last foreigner who made the semifinals in the Intel Extreme Masters, Johan?
As it even ever happens.
Yeah, of course. But Naniwa has made it to final, where he lost against Live.
Maybe that was New York.
Yeah, well, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty tough. You know, the Koreans, they come over, they have a lot of practice in, and they are all so good. And just keeping up with them has been a big task. But Snoot definitely one of those guys that has been doing some of the best job with that. You know, won a few tournaments here and there, always goes pretty deep in whichever tournament he plays in. Beats big names too.
Yeah,
non-stop. He might be one of the very few ones actually outside of Korea that can beat them as consistently as he does.
Yeah, definitely. Over a few months ago, we made like this track record of Snoot, and we saw how many top Korean players he has defeated, and not just in one matchup. You know, sometimes you have a foreigner who truly excels in one matchup, whether that would be ZVZ or ZVP. But Snoot, he beats them all over the board. He has defeated a couple of world-class Terran players. We know that this Zerg vs Zerg is so sick. I don't think he's going to lose a ZVZ in this tournament if he has to play one more. And then last but not least, you know, ZVP, that has been a specialty, but his style, you could say, is a little map dependent, and Snoot knows that as well. And he also knows that if it doesn't go to the Swarmos, then he's not always that confident. Anyways, we are live with our first best of 5 of the final day of the Intel Extreme Masters in San Jose. Over here on the left top side of King Sejong Station, give it up for your two-time IEM champion, CA Enters herO. And over here on the right bottom side, we have the foreign hope himself. He's representing Norway and Team Liquid. Be as loud as you can for Snoot.
I've talked a little bit about how Snoot nowadays he adds Hydralisks to his composition. He goes pretty quickly into Hydralisks. That was a little bit of a while back ago. He might have tweaked his play here a little bit, but considering how well he's been doing with that style, I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing something like that. Hydralisks, they're very good, I think, against a lot of two-base all-ins from Protoss that can be thrown at you. And even against that build where you go into a third base as a Protoss with Blink Stalkers and +2, and then you try to hit that big timing with lots of sentries and Stalkers, you're going to have to be able to hold against that as a Zerg player if you want to be able to go into Swarmos later.
Interesting over here. He dropped his pilot on the high ground, but he's still going to scout at 13-14 supply, but he's not going to drop anything. So this could still be a Nexus first with then a gate on the high ground. Not something we see super often. Snoot on the other end is going to drop his spawning pool, doesn't want to get cannon rushed or anything silly like that, which I think is very smart, because how often haven't we looked at a best of 5 and we're like, man, this is going to be such a big series for the foreigner. I truly can't wait to see how this goes. And then the first 2 games are over within 12 minutes because of either a cannon rush or, you know, an undetected pylon. Just make sure, if you're Snoot right now, keep your head calm, stay collected, and don't do anything too crazy. Make sure you make it at least to, you know, 11, 12 minutes into this game without being too far behind, without being crippled, and make it a real series.
And herO did a very good job of scouting himself. He checked very early on with his probe, basically to see if there was going to be a hatch block, because he wanted to go Nexus first. The hatch block goes down around 2 minutes mark. He was down there at 150. Then he checked in the middle of the map if there was links on the way to his base, just in case. And if it had been the case, he could have not made a nexus, walled off his ramp, and been fine. Now he checks the natural, and then he saw that there wasn't a hatchery yet at 245. That means pull first, and he blocked for a moment. Now check the main. Both players already putting a lot of effort towards scouting the opponent. I mean, herO, he's known for that, mostly with the hallucination scouts, but already with his probe here doing a ton of work early on.
Yep, this is one of these things that we often talk about, and I know you don't really see it when you're watching StarCraft 2, because for us as well as observers, it's very relaxing. We know that this is a macro-oriented opening, but if you're a player in this phase in the tournament, there are 10 to 15 things going through your mind in the first 3 minutes. All right, this could happen, that could happen, check for Zerglings, make sure I don't get hatch blocked. There are so many things, and when all these things don't happen, when you're watching a game of StarCraft 2, you're like, oh, you know, this game is going nice and steady, everything is slow so far, but if you're a player, the game is never slow because you're on the edge of your seat any given moment, because you know one big mistake, you know, can really put you pretty far behind. So even when nothing dies for a player, it doesn't feel like that. Both these players right now will truly feel already like they're in the zone and the action has started.
Nice and steady, just like a Roddy build, man.
No, those are not steady, man. Those are short and explosive, just like my...
Especially against Destiny.
Hey, did you watch the stream?
Oh, you told me about it.
Oh. I'm sorry, Steven, if you're watching.
Sentry behind this here by herO. This indicates that he might want to go into a very, very quick third. When you get sentries like this rather than stalkers, it means you're going to be less able to take out that first or even first two overlords that are going to try to scout your main. But I don't think herO even cares if the Stargate is spotted in this case. And yeah, I really wouldn't be surprised if he went into a fairly quick third. Also could indicate that he wants to go for aggression. When you start building up a sentry count like this very early, you're going to have a lot of energy when you move out. And it's always good because you can throw down a lot of force fields, block the Zerg army completely, and then do a ton of damage early on. Or force units, you know?
In general, I don't really like Stargate and then followed up with sentry aggression. Like, if it's just Zealots, I can live with it. But going with sentries as well, you're spending so much gas, and you really have to do some serious work with that. If Snoot is able to defend against that, and 9 out of 10 times I'd say that Snoot will always drop a Roach Warren, even if he doesn't plan on using it early on. Getting a Roach Warren in this matchup, I feel, is almost mandatory. Skipping it, like, yeah, you get a little bit extra out of it, but so many gateway pushes or gateway timings are so incredibly hard to deal with that I truly feel as a Zerg player on this level, especially if you're not 100% sure what you're playing against, you always need the Roach Warren.
You know what, I don't really like it either usually, but since herO did it, I now like it. And it looks like Snoot somehow kind of knows that this might be coming, so he's going to get some spores. I mean, he sees that herO's not really doing much with his units not moving up, not taking a third. He's going to send some links over there to make sure he knows when that goes down. Lair is now on the way. He's droning up. And a few more gates and the +1 here for herO going down. So I have to wonder, is he going to want to be aggressive with this as well?
Maybe some 4 gateway aggression. Oracle is going to fly into the main base. At the same time, Zerglings is scouting stuff at the top side. So I was worried for CGNT's herO, his Oracle there, because sometimes you get a little bit distracted. You take care of these Zerglings and then suddenly you lose your Oracle. herO, of course, is too good. I think he did pick up the probe and he's going to get the Zealot as well. I think it's very good news for CGNT's herO that he didn't wipe in the Nexus there, but he loses his second probe there as well. And this is going really well. I wouldn't go too far in with my Zerglings.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to get one single sentry and force another force field from another one. That means, you know what that means? Less hallucinations to work with in terms of scouting. I mean, herO, he does have an Oracle, but flying around, he's going to be risky with this one. And he goes for a single Void Ray behind this. I don't think he's going to want to make more than one. This is just to kill the Overlords around his base.
I really like the Hydra push that you already mentioned in the start of the game that I think that Snoot is slowly but steady setting himself up for.
You think it's for a push?
Yeah, I think it is going to be for a push, and I think he could make that push work because I think he slowed down herO enough. He picked off enough units, and now he's forcing out the Void Ray as well. Void Ray is obviously a safety unit, not a safety unit that's going to help out all that much against the Hydra list. I think if Snoot goes crazy on the Hydras, I think he can make it work because there's no way he's going to have to worry about Colossus. Then the only thing he has to worry about are force fields, and force fields can be very tricky. We saw the action Protosses in the old days being very successful with Sentry, Void Ray. Even Naniwa has been successful with it as well. But I think there is an option here for Snoot to hit very hard with these Hydras.
Usually he goes for them as a defense, but now he might see this opportunity with which he just could attack and do a lot of damage. And herO right now is the one pressuring. I don't think he realizes what he's up against here. If he was to lose his Mothership Core or even a few sentries, he he would be in so much trouble.
Yeah, I think this is even great news for Snoot. Snoot should just jump on this army immediately because there is no DPS in these sentries at all. One of the drones, or was it a drone that got scouted there? Because I guess he wanted to go up to 4 base on the right side.
Oh, he's gonna clean the creep highway, which by the way could have helped a lot if Snoot wanted to attack.
But if Snoot forces out a photon recall, that would be great. And he's gonna kill a sentry as well. Snoot should go for it immediately. He should jump on this army. This army is really weak. And there we go. Recall is being used. But I like that. No photon overcharge at home. No time warp either.
I think he's not too far from getting one, but that means one photon overcharge less. Ideally, you want to have a mothership core with 200 energy here, so you can defend.
This is an army of sentries. Let's take a look at the sentry count now. There must be like 11, 12.
Only one single zealot. if he had a lot of zealots, like 7 or 8, it would be good, but now only one single one. So he's gonna start warping in stalkers.
Blink is not ready yet. Force fields, where are they, herO? He let a few too many Hydras squeeze through. Zerglings messing with the AI as well. Sentries just tickling at these Hydras, but I like how this is going in the start for Snoot at least. He needs more units, of course, to win, but like we said before, there's no photon overcharge and there's so many sentries.
That is such a life-esque attack here by Snoot, who's traded quite decently so far. I'm not sure this is going to work out. Yeah, right now he's still doing damage. Sentries, so many sentries started dying here.
Mothership core got picked off as well. Stalkers start dying. The Oracle gets picked off.
Oh my
Snoot
God.
getting some real value for his Hydras here.
Mothership core almost had photon overcharge. I think he might even have had it.
Almost. I don't think he had it yet, but I still think Snoot needs to do a little bit more than he's been doing so far. I don't like that forward blink, I think, by herO, because now he's going to lose a few Stalkers that he didn't have to lose.
He's losing a few walkers in the natural as well, and in the meantime, if you look at the production tab, Hive is on the way, entering Locust as well. Snoot is getting all of his upgrades while attacking and doing damage, starting to pull quite far ahead in supply here.
Yeah, of course you always have to worry about the Blink Stalker counterattack. He's getting a few more Stalkers. Wow, there's still Zerglings in the natural as well. In your natural, Lings are dancing, Johan. That's what Tempo would say.
I mean, with the Hive on the way here, I really like where Snoot is at in terms of tech, but keep in mind, in terms of walkers, Flo just pointed out it was 60 to 60. Yeah, now even herO pulling a little bit ahead with 64 to 60. So I would like to see a little bit of droning up here out of Snoot before he goes into those heavier tech units, you know, maybe some Vipers here and there, and starts pumping out the cash host quite possibly here.
So much gas was lost there by CJ's herO. He lost so many sentries, he lost the Mothership Core, lost the Oracle, and then even lost a few more Stalkers. I really didn't like that one forward blink. He didn't have to do that, because these Hydras were committed anyway, and if he just micros those Stalkers, he will lose max 1. Now he gave 4 Stalkers away. If he has 4 or 5 Stalkers more here, I think then starting to be aggressive is a lot more intimidating. Let's not forget about the fact, by the way, there is no detection on the map right now for CJ's herO. Yeah, I mean, defensive detection by these cannons, but there is no robotics facility, there's no observer, and the Oracle has died. So even just 5 or 6 swarm modes should already be way too much to push into, correct?
Yeah, I think especially since there is no Colossus. I mean, force fields could help a lot, but with that many Hydra discs behind it anyway, sentries are going to start dying very quickly. And herO, maybe he has a very short timing during which he can do some damage, but I just don't see it work and like take out one of the bases and do like a ton of damage and kill the entire army of Snoot. How do you like this force base by Snoot? I quite like it.
Yeah, I think it's cool. It's a little bit more wide open, I guess, perhaps to defend over here. But I mean, the Stalker count is pretty high, but normally you just can't fight against Locust. Even if it's just 5 or 6 swarm modes, you just can't fight. And look at the army supply even. It's 91 against 56. That's weird because CJ's herO, his army looks quite reasonable. He's getting the robotics facility now, so he's starting to slowly but steadily prepare himself for the later phase of the game.
Snoot's game sense. He saw one of those pylons, so he's gonna go look for it. Might be able to find the other one, and herO, all along, he was planning on attacking on the left-hand side. He starts charge.
Also sending units to the 4th base during all this. Yeah, the Stalker
could be locked.
Yeah, really awkward position.
Actually, he has so much DPS.
Mothership Core. Let's take a look at the Zealots, I believe, that are running towards the 4th base. Yes, you do have a bunch of Zealots, but they are slow Zealots. Will they get this hatchery, though? That's going to give herO a little bit of time. No, it will not. Transfuse is going to go down on the edge as well. Snoot is going to be able to pick off all these Zealots, and at the same time, he's still chasing that army away.
And all of a sudden, there is just so much more supply for Snoot. herO, he starts his target at the same time as the Robo Bay. You think he's already thinking about Tempest?
Yeah, or Mothership? He can't afford this. Look at all these sentries, by the way, Johan. A couple of sentries getting caught off guard over here. Very nice ambush by Snoot, getting 4 or 5 sentries for his money. And this army of herO looks a lot more intimidating than it actually is, because it's nothing. 44 supply against 116.
3 times almost the army supply.
Snoot is like, let me give you a helping hand with that one, buddy, because I'm going to come
and
right
I'm going to open it right after that.
This is us on the road trip, Johan, working our way through these rocks. But the Zerglings are a little stronger than my bumper.
And your tire.
Yes, definitely the tire.
And why is he getting a Void Ray?
I think he just wants to get anything. Sentry, Void Ray, but I don't think that CGN's herO can ever defend this port base. There is so much DPS in this Zerg army from Snoot. All these Hydras just streaming up the ramp. Port base gets cancelled. And how are you going to support Colossus production and double Stargate of 3 bases?
Very good counter-attack here, but I mean, even killing this base, those Zealots will most likely fall behind it. herO, how does he defend back at home? Still no Colossus. The first one is on the way here.
He's not going to, Johan. That's the answer to the question. Photon Overcharge will go down, but the Mothership Core gets sniped again. We've seen a couple of ruddy Mothership Cores in this game, as you would say, Johan. The Swarmos Locusts are actually just idling over there outside of range. They're not participating in this fight, but I don't think it truly matters. Snoot is at 180 supply against the 121 of the CGN, this Protoss player. This one Swarmos there is working on these Zealots. The one Colossus gets picked off as well, and I believe now that the writing is truly on the wall. 147 against 83. Observer is not going to be out in time either, so no detection for herO. And these Locusts, Johan, these Locusts are going to go all the way.
And there's just not enough defense here for herO. Where's that defensive Dark Shrine when you need it, Roddy? Could have bought him some time.
I don't know. He's going to get an Oracle. He's going to try to get detection out somehow, some way. But these Zealots are being cleaned up as well. He's losing more probes. He's losing more bases. I love that herO, you know. He has the never give up, never surrender spirit. Let's not forget, this is the quarterfinals of the Intel Extreme Masters here in San Jose. You want to fight to the bitter end. We all believe in a thing called Protoss as well from time to time. Protoss is a beautiful comeback race sometimes, but I'm afraid this game, there's just no way that CGN's herO is going to turn this one around.
Probably watching this in disbelief right now, trying to make something happen with the Stalkers. This reminds me of their previous series and just the hopelessness of herO towards the end after losing to a very strong Snoot up against pretty much everything. He gets Hydralisks. If he has to attack, he does it. If he has to defend, he does it. GG.
GG indeed, sorry. I was like, oh, it's a GG, you're right, Johan. I was looking away. I was like, did he really call GG? Yes, he did. Snoot goes up 1-0 in this quarterfinals while he takes a sup of his cappuccino. And he's like, man, that was not bad at all, Kappa.
Probably a pumpkin
Pumpkin spice latte. Do you think Snoot is a basic white boy? I can see it, I can see it. Good game by Snoot, just very well done. I like the fact as well, I think it depended so much on how the early game played out, if he would have actually committed with these Hydras or not. I think he made a very valid point there. But after these Zerglings sniped 2 probes, picked off a sentry, forced the Zealot to be at home, and let's not forget that this Oracle was not that effective at all. It flew in, it took a couple of shots from the Queen and the Spore Crawler, and it had to back off immediately. And I think that Snoot just made an excellent read at that point. It's like, well, you know, if I go for it right now, I don't think you can defend your third base. And he was able to delay it, and later on, I think he traded very well with his Hydras against the sentries.
I really don't think that going Stargates and Oracle into a Void Ray is the way to go about playing against somebody who, like Snoot, likes to go into a Hydralisks, be it for defense, if he needs them, which in this case, he did need at least a few up against the Oracle, and possibly after more air units. So I would like to see something like some blink play, some +2, a quick third base, and then some kind of a push that would have been a lot stronger than what we saw now. It was literally pure sentry, and he, as much as he cleaned up a little bit of creep here, herO didn't really achieve much. Had to recall, didn't have the photon overcharge, as you rightly pointed out, and then from there, it only goes downhill. I mean, you need that photon overcharge against this many units from the Zerg being thrown at you.
Couldn't agree more, Johan. We're going to have to a very small commercial break, and after that, we'll be back with game number 2 that is going to be played on Overgrowth. Welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters here in, I won't say Sao Paulo. It's like, no, that's not right. That's really far away. San Jose it is, 2014, our last big StarCraft event of the year, as we are on the way with our first quarterfinals today. But we also have an update, because of course we will show 2 quarterfinals, and 2 quarterfinals are showed on twitch.tv/ESLTV_SC2. And out that my boy, Rain, did advance to the semifinals, so I'm very happy for him. I'm very happy. Do we have some Protoss fans in the house? All right, well, you guys get to see Rain later today on the main stage, as of course both semifinals will be shown. And I also want to give a special shout out to Kalaris, who finally had a really, he was very determined in his prediction early on. After Rain was down 1-2, he's like, you know what? I think Rotterdam is wrong. For the first time this year, Kalaris is like, Roddy is wrong. 4GG, man, he's up to 1. He's going to do this. I really don't think that this Rain is that intimidating. After he's down 1-2, by the way, well, Kalaris, you were wrong.
Kalaris wanted to be controversial.
I know.
Apollo shut him down directly, and then the score went the other way, and Rain advanced. So the Protosses here, who I thought were favorites, one of them makes it to the semifinals, but the other one in a bit of trouble right now. How do you crack the Snoot problem here if you're herO? It's just so difficult.
I am not sure. A couple of things went wrong in that game. Snoot made quite a few Zerglings, and it wasn't that early that it was a big commitment, but it was in a phase in the game where you don't really expect it as a Protoss player. But if they're there, they make it a little bit more difficult for you to go up to 3 bases, and herO just kind of struggled in dealing with it. After that, I really didn't like that he was starting to go on an adventure with 9 sentries and a mothership core while not having a pylon. Like, that's just not a good time to move out, in my opinion. It was very obvious that he was going to be forced to use recall, and then he didn't have photon overcharge anymore, etc., etc. I think that herO is capable of playing a cleaner game, and he's going to have to do it, because Overgrowth, I've often said it, I think in the hands of a very good Swarmos user, this is the best map for Swarmos. I think it's so difficult for Protoss.
I mean, this is a map where on the corners of the map in your own base you can get static defense so that no War Prism will fly in. If you have enough Hydralisks, you can literally defend against anything. And then if you split the map, you're basically saying, well, you're gonna go into Tempests and a mothership, or you're never gonna win, because on the ground I got you covered. I got the Locust, I got the static defense, and I got the Vipers ready to abduct and Blinding Cloud.
Alrighty, as you guys can see, we are loaded into the second map of our first quarterfinals of the day. And in the left bottom side, we have the one and only CJ enters herO.
And his opponents, he won the first map very convincingly, playing as the red Zerg. It is Liquid Snoot! How would you play against Snoot if you had to play him? Like, he's so solid against cheeses.
Yeah.
In late game, he's practically unbeatable. How do you beat this guy?
I think I would try to catch him off guard with like a Stargate into an all-in. Like,
really?
Yeah, like because Stargate often triggers the Zerg to drone up a little bit.
Yeah.
You force out a few spores, you will always get an Overlord or 2, and then just like hope that you can get away with it. Either follow up with a crazy like robotics build, or just make a bunch of gateways right after it, and that hits very quick actually. Like, it hits basically at the same time as an Immortal timing. And like in the last game, he skipped the Roach Warren. If he would play against the Phoenix Gateway all-in, he would lose, because Hydras, they get picked up by Phoenixes immediately. They're light armored units, they die.
Oh, you mean on 2 bases? Or
No, you do it on 2 bases.
Okay.
You hit very quick. It hits the same time as an Immortal all-in, pretty
You think
much.
any chance herO tries for something like this?
herO in the past has done this one build a couple of times where you open up with Phoenixes, then you snipe all the Overlords, and you follow it up with a Warp Prism and 8 gateways, which is sort of the same idea. I think I saw Zez do that build as well. That's really like the type of Roddy builds that I like, Johan. It's like, this is all macro opening, don't worry. And then it's like, haha, 8 Zealots in your main. And like, with +1, where's your Roach Warren now, Zerg? It's possible, but Overgrowth is not really the map for it. Like, I would expect something like that on a bigger map, maybe on a Nimbus or something like that.
herO once again went for the safe route here. Well, I guess not the safest, obviously, but he went for a very quick scout to see if there was a hatch block, and then some kind of links headed towards him. He's going to block here a little bit for a while. Went for the same Nexus and gateway up his ramp. And Snoot went for pull first. Snoot is one of those Zergs that basically, I remember having this discussion with him where he was explaining me about how pull first is better than any kind of hatchery first or even double hatch before pull, just because you get that queen out early on and then you just start injecting, and then from there, well, you start injecting earlier. So it's not, I guess it's more important than getting your hatcheries up, just to have that first queen out early on. So I guess a bit of a disagreement because so many Zergs like to open double hatch. I wonder actually which one is best. He must have done some tests.
I mean, like, I think, I do think that hatch first is economically a tiny bit better. Otherwise, the Zerg players wouldn't have done it over all these years. Like, I don't have the numbers. I'm not a super Zerg economic expert. Yeah, I'm sure people have done the math. But, you know, like, having the quicker queen is, of course, a good way to catch up a little bit. But there must be a reason why for 4 years people are going hatch first. You know, I like to think of my Zerg brothers as pretty smart guys, and I highly doubt that they're all making the wrong build 4 years in a row.
And definitely one of the big upsides of going pull first every time. You can't really get cannon rush, like you won't care nearly as much. Even against proxy gate, you're going to be good.
That is very, very important. That is, of course, the main reason. Going hatch first may be a tiny bit more economical, but having quicker access to a queen and Zerglings can help you out a lot against you know, any early game cheese that Protoss may throw at you.
Snoot has done a fantastic job of clearing the map, by the way. He's cleared the entire left-hand side with one Zergling, the right-hand side a little bit as well. He's claiming watchtowers, but somehow that probe sneaked in here, which should be denied. I think he saw it. Yeah, here we go. Forge being added on here for herO already.
And a Stalker, yo, and I'm a little bit surprised by the Stalker. He might drop a Stargate once more, but this time he's getting the Forge before the Stargate. Last time it was the other way around.
If there was no Forge, I know what you were going to say. You should have some gates.
No. Speed is on the way, man. You know I don't like my 4-gate pressure against Speed. It's suicide. First did it against... who was the Zerg that he played? I think it may have been... I forgot.
Revival?
On DreamHack he did it on the game on Nimbus, but it doesn't matter. Oh, Live. Yeah, that's the guy. How could I forget about Live, Johan? What's wrong with me?
Okay, the wall-off will be completed here momentarily for herO. He should be able to kind of know the timing on speed. He's pressuring right now, could have to recall if he needs to. Oh, catching a queen would be really nice here. Can that one get away, Roddy? Is she going to be the one that gets away?
She is the one that gets away. We can give her a name if you want to make this really dramatic, but I don't want to go there just yet, Johan. 4 drones on the way, 10 Zerglings on the way, should keep the queen safe. The queen is still going to be the one that gets away. That's the thing. Every time you get close to her, every time you feel that this time it's the one time that's going to work out, Johan, it never works out. She always gets away.
So emotional.
We're still talking about StarCraft, guys, don't worry.
10 seconds to speed here. I think he might be able to get a surround on that Stalker.
Yeah.
The Zealot will go down without a surround, but then getting the Stalker will be really nice here for Snoot. He's just going to go back.
I agree. No, he got... No, he's not going to get it. I think you were on to something, Johan. I think if he would have gone for that immediately, he would have been able to block the Stalker from getting home.
Ooh, dropping a Twilight Council and some extra gates. I'm starting to think we could be seeing some kind of blink play on 2 bases here by herO.
I think he's still going to... I don't like the Sentry Warping at all. That's a very easy pickup there for Snoot. That's 100 gas straight to the bank, to the cash house. I think herO is still going to go up to 3 bases, Johan.
Okay. He's still making probes. Usually if you want to do this, you'll stop around 44, 45. I think he just went up to 47.
And there we go. Third Nexus gets warped in. But now it's interesting to see what he's going to do, because sometimes they go up to 3 bases, but then instead of adding a robotics facility, they just throw down 5 more gateways, and then it's like an in-between. Like, yeah, they'll send a few probes to that base, but they still pretty much have to win. On the other side of the map, we see +1 missile attacks on the way. A Roach Warren is going down, so this time Snoot seems to be a tiny bit worried that he may have to deal with something that he didn't have to worry about in the last game. But now the Phoenix scouts the Roach Warren, and he can't.
Cancel the Roach Warren, realizing there was a 3rd base because Snoot scouted with his Overlord down there.
Can we take a look at the vision of CGNT's herO? Did he see that the Roach Warren got cancelled? Yeah, he saw that as well. So, interesting by Snoot.
So he saw no tech so far. He's trying to go back, but this hallucination is going to expire. herO might be starting to get a little bit paranoid here. You always want to know if it's a Hydralisk den, an infestation pit.
Yeah. He's going to attack, I think, soon. I think CGN's herO is just going to attack. Blink is halfway done. Snoot just now starts squeezing out Hydralisk. He has plenty of free supply. It's extremely important you don't get supply blocked in these phases of the game.
And he gets range first. That's really going to help if this can complete on time. I don't think he's going to be there at first when herO gets there. But herO, when you do that first attack, already against just 12 Hydralisk, it's just going to be so hard to make it... I mean, to fight, he just wants to push back the creep ideally and then be able to pull back. Against no roaches, you should be able to do that, but if he gets engaged against the Hydralisk, he's going to be in lots of trouble.
Let's not forget that this Mothership Core already earlier on in this game took a little bit of a beating, right? It doesn't have that much HP, 124. This is something
200
that
energy.
CGNT's herO has to be very, very careful with his Mothership Core, because there are a couple of Hydralisks. There is creep over here as well.
Snoot is ready. He wants to get the snipes. herO knows he's gonna place his mothership core back.
Man, he's
gonna
playing
have to
with
recall.
fire. He's gonna have to recall. Just recall right now, herO. Your mothership core. No, you saw Snoot aiming for it as well. All right, that went well for herO. That went as well as it could have gone.
Yeah. +2 about to finish here for Snoot, who's gonna start an infestation pit. He's already got +2 missile attack that just started, getting a second Evo chamber and a 4th base. In terms of creep, Snoot, he understands that creep is basically like almost like counts as army when you go Swarmost. It's so important, gives you vision, gives you speed, and it's just so hard for Protoss to step on it and get a good engagement. So he emphasized the creep spread so much. He's already basically in the middle of the map almost at the 11th minute mark.
Yeah, and despite the fact that CGN's herO did pick off a couple of these creep tumors all along, but so he's not making it super easy for Snoot, but all the liquid Zergs, man, Red, TLO, Snoot, they're all very, very good when it comes to the creep department.
You know, Roddy, you can call him herO. You always say CGN to his herO. I'm giving you permission to call him herO from now
But
on.
I mean, there is another herO. This feels wrong, man. I like my liquid herO too, but I know.
Charge on the way in +3. I wonder if herO is going to start mixing in War Prism soon, knowing that it's Swarmost. Still moving out. This is so dangerous here for herO. Even though he's doing a very good job of keeping up in supply, this is the time Swarmosts are going to be out. He's going to rely a lot on force field. I mean, he needs to push back the creep. If he stays back at home, he's going to
I think the War Prism is going to be very important here, but an Overlord does actually see it coming in advance. This is a tricky moment, though, for Snoot, because he has to worry about these force fields. He has to worry about this War Prism. Hydralisk will start working on the Prism immediately, and just 3 Zealots being warped in. Very well done there by Snoot.
Great defense here, getting the War Prism before too many Zealots were warped in. Charge was about to finish as well. He could have been in a lot of trouble with that one single warp in here, which could have snowballed as well. So very good defense of the first War Prism. And from here, Snoot knows that there's going to be more War Prisms. He can start setting up some static defense back at home. He's got a hive on the way. He's getting spores everywhere. Snoot's doing everything he needs to do to be in a good position in this game. I wouldn't be surprised to see him start working on a 5th base here as well momentarily.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you, Johan. When Johan says that it could snowball, what happens is that, you know, there are a few too many Zealots in the main base, then Snoot is forced to send a lot of units to his main, and then suddenly herO uses the rest of his army to step further on creep, drop some force fields, and suddenly it can be very hard for Snoot to defend all the bases at once. So it's really important. A small thing like that, picking up a War Prism, really saves Snoot from so much headache, at least for now, but he's definitely not out of the woods just yet.
That mothership core is carrying me, even though herO's army is pretty big here. It's just one single Colossus. He does have some force fields.
War Prism in the main again, I believe. That's a big Zealot weapon, and this time most of the units from Snoot are out of position.
No static defense just yet. Snoot is really scared from the main attack here.
Man, yeah, if herO would have wiped in a few sentries over here, that would have been very annoying for Snoot.
Hashtag Rolly lockdown.
Yep, you know I love my little lockdown.
Oh wow, that attack is pretty scary. Good abduct on one of these Colossus, will kill it. And behind this is just pure Stalkers with some sentries. The mothership core, man, he needs to be...
Yeah.
I'm really worried for the
I still don't like trades like this for CGN's herO, unless he gets the hive, of course, but I don't think he's going to get it. Like, this is one of these moments where often it looks like you're doing all right.
Oh, he's going to get the hatchery and then recall. I mean, he's done some damage, but he's fell quite far behind in supply. Snoot not really losing any army.
Let's take a look at
here,
the unit's lost resource step, if we can. And we can see that herO lost 4,600 against only 2,300 from Snoot. Of course, herO has a good economy as well, so it's not the end of the world. It's not like he lost units that he can't replace anymore, but you have to be careful making attacks like that as a Protoss player. But you could also say that he was like started to maybe get rid of some units, that he's going to make a stronger and stronger Protoss army. Then I can sort of live with it, but he has to be careful. There's only so many times you can do it. Before one time you get absolutely smacked down and you kill almost nothing, and suddenly you're at 110 supply. And then when the Swarmos make their way across the map, you have nothing to deal with it.
Flo just pointed out that both players are doing a fantastic job in terms of upgrades. herO's about to be 3-1. Snoot started its 3-2. He's adding on a lot more Swarmos. What's the Swarmos count at this point?
Oh, is he going up to 30?
Oh my god.
No, Snoot.
He's actually just going to split the map and going to start... I think by now he should have already been making a ton of static defense, which he's not. I think maybe he wanted to max out first. Look at Snoot's money. He's got so much money. This is really the time where he needs to start adding on a lot of spines and spores.
I mean, Swarm Host can be so extremely good on this map. One of the queens don't get picked off over here, but Snoot has plenty of those. The War Prisms are so far not doing a whole lot of damage. I like the Swarm Host count this high so much, Johan, because herO, he's not taking his sweet time. He's not throwing down 4 Stargates. No, he's still trying to make stuff work with Stalkers and Colossus. And that can work if the Swarm Host play only makes like 10 or 11 Swarm Host. But if they go up to 22, 24 Swarm Host, I don't care how many Colossus or Stalkers you have. It's almost impossible to break.
Oh, big abduct on the Mothership Core will kill it here for Snoot, so no recall capability. He needs to be a little bit more shy about moving up. The thing is, herO knows he has to make something happen. He doesn't want to be in that situation where the map is split and the Zerg has creep spread as far as he wanted. So he's pushing back the creep, but now abducts are gonna start being deadly every single time. Vipers are gonna come in, abduct Colossus, kill them for just killing Locust in return. And this is just not worth it.
I feel the last 2 minutes of this game have been extremely bad for herO. Extremely bad. He's not killing anything. He's throwing away a lot of resources.
Even more Swarmos, by the way.
It doesn't look like he has a clear follow-up plan. He's warping in expensive units like High Templars, dropping storms on free units like Locust. Now both Spires are on the way as well. This is not a map where War Prisms can make their way across the map very undetected. herO has to start thinking about the next phase in this game. Even though it looks like he doesn't want to, he wants to win with this army composition, but I think it's borderline impossible right now.
Even getting a Dark Shrine here, a lot of the time that will be the right move, but in this game, as I said before, we should start seeing static defense going down everywhere. 12 spine squatters on the way, 14 drones. He's already planning for the extra static defense that he's going to get. The Swarmos count is getting out of control.
I know.
25.
Yeah, we're gonna go up to 27 soon. When he had 8 and then went to 22, those 8 just hatched, but still 27 Swarmos. You're not gonna break 27 Swarmos with High Templars and a Colossus or 2.
Is he time
oh,
to go
nice
Tempest?
blinding clouds as well, forcing these units all to more forward. A couple of feedbacks go down on the queens, but I love this fight as well for Snoot. He doesn't lose anything in engagements like this, but herO, he loses so much gas by all these High Templars. Archons are not going to break all these Locusts. They are definitely not going to break the static defenses either, and the queens are helping out. herO, you need to start ready to transition. You need your second robotics facility, maybe a few Stargates. You need anything other than what you're doing right now, because this is not going to cut it.
herO not realizing that this is just not going to work here, still pushing forward. No Stargates in sight to take into any kind of Tempest or Mothership. He's actually literally getting in there.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a huge commitment by herO. He's freeing up a lot of supply, but he doesn't have any other buildings ready. Good abduct there on the Colossus as well. And the unit loss resource tab must be so incredibly far in favor of Snoot now. 7,000 against 16,000.
Oh my God.
That is insane.
He's down 148 supply against 194. Remaking a War Prism, adding on a Robo. Still not thinking about that air army that he could be going for. And also he has 80 walkers. That means his maxed out army is 120 against the Snoot, who's on 130. So
and
doing better.
And he has spine crawlers.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Snoot, he is not in a rush over here. You know, a couple of players early this weekend, they were in a rush. Snoot, he's the opposite. There's a reason why he brought a cappuccino to his box on the stage right now, because he's sitting there in his soundproof box, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna take my sweet time. There will be a lot of Locusts in this game. You can try to break me over and over again. I'm not sweating it. I'm not gonna make silly moves. I'll just let you keep throwing away units after units after units.
That sounded a lot like a cappuccino, by the way.
Like a copy pasta?
Nate will be proud.
So says my son.
This run by here, killing a few units on the bottom right hand side should be denied, especially since there is the capability of warping in DTs. But no, hero's just gonna walk over and kill all of this. And on the left hand side, big Zealot attack. Not much static defense here, by the way, for Snoot. He might lose the hatch, but I mean, is this even worth it?
Yeah, this base is indeed a little exposed, and picking up a hatchery temporarily is always nice, don't get me wrong, but...
I mean, trading 12 Zealots for 300 minerals hatch.
Oh, well, actually, that's actually not even gonna die. Here is the Queen Cavalry, dropping all the transfuses on this hatchery. It's insane, but this hatch is actually going to... No, it's not going to live. In the end, it will die.
Snoot is mixing in even more Swarmos now. He's adding on 4 more.
Oh, well. But like you said, that was more expensive for herO than it was for Snoot. The fact that all the queens are out of energy now, that's kind of nice. Maybe herO can find something to work with over here, but...
He's hoping to cause a mistake here. Maybe Snoot is Just once again out of position, herO just gets in there, gets on top of the Swarmos and kill them. But I don't think Snoot's gonna let that happen. Feedbacks!
I love the position of the Swarmos as well. Makes it very hard for Storm to connect with all of the Locusts because they come in from like a 180-degree angle. Couple of ducks going down on these Colossus as well. And Snoot, man, he knows how to do this. And like I said, Overgrowth. Overgrowth is one of the best maps ever. Jesus, what is this, yo?
I mean, he gets the hatchery, but he's gonna lose so many Zealots once again to kill it. And behind this, still no air transition inside. I literally see herO again run out of minerals here. And not be able to do anything against Snoot's bank. Look at Snoot's bank. He's got so much money and minerals as well. He's not losing anything.
herO just wiped in 30 Zealots. It's like 3,000 minerals that he wiped in. And yeah, he got 2 hatcheries, which is nice and all, but that's about it. He's nowhere near as rich as Snoot is.
Is he gonna sack the Stalkers? herO looking to do some damage here. Nice blink up the ramp. If he could get 2 Spire, that would be nice. But I mean, even then, Snoot could just remake that. He's so rich, and herO's just gonna get out of there. Snoot's actually very low on income right now, but I don't think he cares. With the bank that he has, he can just remake bases.
Wow, a couple of Blink Stalkers just got abducted. So the Stalkers blink down, but all of them will, or at least the majority of them will die against the Locusts and the Queens over here. Well, these Stalkers just blink straight into their death. 7, 8 Stalkers for 3 Vipers. Not really the best trade either.
Can we see the units lost in details?
Shift L? I'm not sure if it works. It might not be in this interface, yo.
Okay, I wanted to see how many Stalkers died this game, because usually in a game like this, you know, you stop making them at some point and he's just remade a bunch.
Yep.
This is weird. Against Swarmos, you know, they don't really do much.
I think herO is still a little clueless in this style. herO tries to take his
good luck.
Tries to take his 6th base over here, but it's covered in creep. There's a creep tower on top of it.
And really one of the big strengths on this map too, in a split map situation, since Snoot has his initial 5 bases, taking a 6 is going to be so easy. With all the creep that he has, he's going to start taking control of the watchtowers with changelings as well. You can't really deny that. That's also one of the things that's free after you make an Overseer. So herO, I really think he's in trouble. He's not able to find a way to crack Snoot's defense so far.
Now, if you guys just joined us, you're probably wondering, well, like, why are the casters saying that herO is in trouble so much? He has a little bit more supply, he has money as well, he has a lot of bases. It seems like a pretty even game. It's just the infrastructure that doesn't help herO. All that he has is double robo and he has a bunch of gateway units. He's playing against a ridiculously high amount of swarmos on a map where swarmos are extremely strong. And he's trying to find openings. If he gets both of the spires here, that's nice. That's a nice little pickup.
Yeah.
But he's throwing away a lot of minerals for all this. But this is definitely a good snipe.
3 mutas just started, Roddy. What's happening?
Warp Prisms, I think.
I guess maybe Snoot realized that shutting down Warp Prism could be a thing. But he realized also that there is no Stargates and not that many cannons across the map in each middle line. So do some harassment here and there. But I guess shutting down the Warp Prism most likely a reason.
The 3 muta hit squad. Harassment.
I remember this one game from Scarlet where she made a single muta actually, which was the herO muta of the game. The lair is gonna have to be restarted here as the Hive got sniped in the main. And trading minerals for gas is nice, but overall, herO has just lost so many minerals and gas in terms of units lost that I don't think it even matters at this point. Getting the shields upgrade too. Here we go.
Oh, a couple of Colossus getting abducted. Those are big abducts. Colossus, of course, very expensive units. 3 will go down. A feedback lands eventually. Second feedback goes down as well, but it just hurts, man. This is going to happen over and over and over again. Every single time that herO is about to feel that he's almost ready to break Snoot, he's going to lose a bunch of Colossus. And it's just the beginning of the end. A lot of Zealots being wiped in over here, but the Locusts will just start shooting at them. Good timing there.
herO, I think he's starting to realize that this is just not going to work out here. Those Zealot attacks, they are being defended every time, and even though he's killing hatcheries, they are being remade. So now he says, you know what? Maybe it's that time as transition into air. He starts a Stargate, and I'm pretty sure he's going to want to go into a Mothership and some Tempest.
Here they come, yo, and the boys. The boys are back in town.
Just the 3 of them. They're actually going to go back home, I guess. They can't really achieve much. I can see not even a single cannon. There are 2-2, by the way, the air units of Snoot.
I think that 2-2 mutas would have killed a single cannon.
And 13 Dark Templars were just wiped in. I think this is 4 Archons here. He wants to save his gas, herO. This reminds me of their game on Nimbus. This happened as well. He didn't have all that much gas. He was mining out the map. Fleet Beacon on the way now for herO.
The thing is, Archons are so bad against Locusts. Like, they are the worst.
Yeah. You know what's funny? In the tech tree, it says that Archons counter Swarmos.
What a lie, Johan. It's a lie. I want to have this fixed.
Maybe if they get on top of them.
Yeah, if you drop them on top of out of Warp Prisms and the Locusts are really far away, then yes, they're pretty good. Other than that, I definitely don't recommend make. Oh, these locusts actually just sniping 2. No, 2 HP. Well, still getting 1 of it. There goes Archon number 1.
Rain shake on that Colossus here. On the left-hand side, herO going again for another attack with a bunch of Zealots. And he's actually blinking on top of these Swarmos at the same time. And Queens, he's gonna try to get all of these Queens here with some nice storms, maybe some feedback as well. There is no abducts, I think, so this could be a good time to get maybe some cost-effective fights.
This is only like half the Swarmos anyways for Snoot. Like,
yeah, but it's a good win for herO, I guess, to finally start killing some of them. But it might cause for more Swarmos to be made, so he might regret it.
He lost a bunch of Archons, he dropped all of the Storms, he lost the Colossus there as well.
This time the Hatchery on the top left-hand side, but Snoot has so much money that I don't think even think he cares.
I don't think it was really a win. Now all of these Zealots start fighting the Locusts. That's definitely not what you want to do. The only thing that's worse against Locusts than Archons are probably Zealots. Zealots are so bad against Locusts.
Yes, they are. And the 6th base finally started here for herO. I'm sure that Snoot, as soon as he realizes this, he's going to try to basically siege it with some Locusts. Whoa, this guy was ambitious. And
some people
Pathogen Glance starting here.
I mean,
that's a must.
We have been very vocal about that we feel that herO needs something else. He needs a clear follow-up in this game if he somehow wants to break this. But some people may have not been watching that much StarCraft. What is it that herO should be doing in your eyes?
Take 2 Tempest and try and take more bases, take Cloak there and get a good Tempest counts and win the air battle, which, I mean, against a Zerg who's already on 2-2 air upgrades and being 0-0 is going to be so hard for herO. I feel like he's already lost so much on the ground that it's going to be difficult for him to go into Tempest. And you know what? I think he agrees with me because it doesn't seem like he wants to go into Tempest. He just made the fleet beacon for a single mothership. He's going to get a lot of Colossus, a lot of High Templars for Storm, and he's going to try to break his opponent in a fight. But 6 Infestors being made now.
And some people might be wondering, watching this as well, man, this looks incredibly difficult to beat. It is, of course, hard to beat, but it also helps that Overgrowth is pretty much the best map for this. My buddy Violet is also a fantastic Zerg player with Swarmos on this map, and I really see him lose if he gets to this phase in the game. And, well, needless to say, Snoot is one of the absolute finest, maybe the finest, if it comes to Swarmos play. Yeah, it's beautiful, man.
I totally agree. Yes, Snoot, I really don't think there is anybody better than him with Swarmos. Yeah, maybe Stefano on a very good day. But it's a different style.
Maybe Stefano when he's not Hangover, also known as 2009. Just kidding, Elias.
Oh! Snoot gonna get the Mothership Core here. Possibly there is no recall yet. And the Queens, they get the Mothership Core. And this herO just kind of tilts and gets in there. He gets a lot of good feedbacks.
Blinding Cloud and Fongo going down at the same time on top of this Protoss army. The Spineclaws are helping. This Protoss army is just not doing much. And I know we don't say that very often when we cast StarCraft 2, because normally we're like, man, everything just evaporates. But this is just a very difficult composition to fight for this army of herO. He's microing his Colossus. He lost another Archon there in the mix. I want to take a look at the unit loss resource tab one more time. Just, oh my god, Johan. This is
50k to 20k, more abducts.
Insane. That's literally insane.
Usually the games are over far before that, like 10,000 mirrors.
Oh, look at the transfuse going down as well on these Swarmos. Snoot protects his babies very well. He knows that they're about to make him perhaps a lot of money.
herO is now below 100 supply, and he doesn't even have a good bank. He's going to sacrifice more Zealots, literally achieving basically nothing. I think this is it. This attack here, losing his entire army. herO, GG.
Wow, Snoot, our Norwegian foreign hero, goes up 2-0 in this quarterfinals. He's not there yet. He's been here before. He's been up 2-0 against a world-class player before in the quarterfinals of the Intel Extreme Masters.
It's actually shaking a little bit. Yeah. Getting some auto-assist nerd chills. It's up 2-0, but remember, this is not over.
No.
This happened in Toronto. He was up 2-0 against Flash and ended up losing 2 and 3.
I love how that was the start of my sentence, and then you're like, no, wait. He was up 2-0. I was like, yes, Johan, that was what I was saying. But yeah, it's okay. Great minds think alike. But yes, it's definitely not over yet, and this was the best map for it. Without a shadow of a doubt, in my opinion, this was the best Swarmos map. But so far, Snoot is looking just so solid. It's hard.
What was next? Catalina or Merry-Go-Round?
I think it may have been Merry-Go-Round.
Either of these maps, I think, are pretty favorable for Zerg. For Swarmos, not necessarily, I would say in general, but in Snoot's hand, Merry-Go-Round up against Swarmos, how do you attack into this guy? You literally have to Immortal Push and kill him before.
But I think on merry-go-round, it's very hard to get 4 bases as a Zerg player, as a Swarmos player as well. Especially because if Protoss controls the middle, like Locusts are kind of derpy. They have to go around. They have
but you
to
know what? Again, against most Zergs it's true, but not against Snute, because his creep spread is so perfect. He always gets it so far out that he has perfect vision of where he's going to be attacked, and he always has the Locust ready in position against anything that you could throw at him. He makes sure that force fields are negated, because when you go for that style, there is a lot of timings, especially before you get Vipers, where force fields can do so much. The thing is, going for Hydras really help in defending literally almost anything that a Protoss could throw at you. Do you think there is any timing where, as you mentioned before, since he kind of skips the road run, or in this case cancelled it in the previous game, that could work? Which one?
No, I totally said, like, I think opening up with Stargate units and then followed up with a gateway attack. Yeah, like Phoenix is into gateway, I think stuff like that. Or even just a couple of +1 Zealots, like anything that includes a +1 upgrade if you don't have a Roach Warren is very good. Anyways, I want to hear what the boys at the desk think about this series so far before we're going to go ahead and hop into game number 3.
Thank you very much, Rotterdam. Yes, back at the desk. We're just going to wrap things up from the first 2 games with Day 9, Kalaris and Apollo. Welcome back. First of all, game 1. Great victory for Snoot, and a quick one. We weren't expecting that necessarily.
Yeah, it was very good, very well played. Ling Hydra, kind of a timing before we saw his opponent here, herO, ready for it. Opened up with Oracle. Oracle helped a bit in that game. The sentries pushing the creep back helped a lot, but he just wasn't ready. The key thing in there is that he moved out and had to use the Mothership Core to recall back, which then had no photon overcharge to deal with the Ling Hydra push. Too much damage was dealt, so many Stalkers, so many sentries went down. The Forge was offline for a couple of seconds as well with no +2 attack. And from that position, big lead, and unfortunately herO wasn't able to come back.
Yeah. Second map, focusing on that for a moment. I wrote a couple of notes down. Hasn't learned anything in 3 months since last playing Snute. Doesn't build any air units, and yet doesn't seem to have worked out a place. What is going? I mean, it just seems typical kind of Snute play against herO. We've seen it before.
I mean, well, so a lot of people build swarm hosts in general, but Snute does a couple of little touches, and I actually don't know the best way to deal with Snoot's play after a certain point. You got to be preventing him from getting those additional bases, because I mean, his long-term play is absolute efficiency. He builds no corruptors, because corruptors only have the one purpose of dealing with air units / Colossus. He stays on all queens, which means he can't attack. And he doesn't plan to. With those 5 bases, he can simply deny the 6th base Protoss. And normally we talk about denying 3rds or denying 4s. He's denying the 6th base, and he never moves out. And I think my favorite touch is that he scouts with creep tumors. Again, it's a free way to scout on all sides of the map.
That wasn't the most common swarm host game for me when I was watching Snoot play, or herO even play that out, because so normally swarm host games get to a different level where you see, I mean, Sean was mentioning before during that sometimes you see a lot of corruptors mixed in to be able to take these kinds of things on, but the way herO was actually harassing and the way he was hitting on left and right with Zealots and getting a lot of bases, you were saying he hasn't learned anything, but I feel that he actually did have a few steps in there that he had learned from to actually get those bases in the moments that he did. But then also the fleet beacon was really late that I wasn't really expecting.
He didn't want to play air at all. Clearly we saw he didn't want to play air. With that style, he's looking to win it and to kind of, like you said, deny the bases and eventually wear Snoot down to eventually push through and kill the game. But because of the no corruptor style, very heavy queen, very heavy swarmos, he was never going to break.
No, and that's the interesting thing. Actually, it ended up being the other way round. It was actually that Snoot wore him down. You can see his supply was 190, and then it was 170, and then it was 130, and then it was 100. it was just no coming back from him.
The strategy in place there, or the overall plan, which you will obviously have in every single game of StarCraft, get to the 30, 35, 40-minute game, and I'm going to win. Because once Protoss has to expand to the center, whether it be the goal base, whether it be the left-hand side, you are not going to take it versus this play.
There was a fun moment for me as well. In my head, and this is probably how far I've come in StarCraft in the last 3 years, I saw him build the mothership and I was like, well, he's got loads of Vipers. That's not going to work. And boom, 10 seconds later, double Viper pickup. And I was like, why would you build that and then lose it like that? It's an expensive unit.
It's like such a hard series of decisions to make, because you just know you're going to get something vipered.
The
question is, how can I have my opponent on few bases.
Yeah.
So that way, when he's going Swarm Host Viper and all this stuff, he's got to be absolutely perfect. I mean, once Snoot had the gold base, there's literally 0% chance of Snoot messing that up.
Let's wrap it up very quickly. We're going to head back to the game, but 2-0 right now to Snoot. Can he take this one? Is it done?
I think it's 3-0. I really think it's 3-0. The way that herO needs to win this now, he takes it two very different ways. You finish it very early with some kind of 6, 5, 7, 8 gate, whatever type of play, or you go super late and you get a huge amount of Tempest where the game is like an hour long.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, gents. Let's head back to the commentary desk with Rotterdam and Todd.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And I agree, of course, with most of the things that you guys said there at the desk, and definitely agree with Sean that it just seems like herO does not want to play air. And you know, I'm very familiar with that because I don't like to play air either against his army composition. And it's one of these things where you know, like, okay, I've seen other Protoss players do it. I know that it can work, but it's just not my thing. It's not my bread and butter. I don't feel very confident with it because it may look easy to control a bunch of Void Rays, Tempests, and Oracles and a big mothership, but it's not. It's really weird. Even though those units are slow, because they're slow, it's actually annoying to control them because you have to think so well about how you move them and when you position them, etc., etc.
You know, over in Europe, Swarm hosts have been used a lot more, I would say, than in Korea, and for quite some time as well. So there has been this evolution of not only how to play Swarm hosts, but how to play against it. And Protosses, there's been some good ideas here and there. What herO was doing here with the War Prism harassment was one of the first things that was used. But then later on, it moved towards playing with those air units. Once upon a time, I remember Hearthstone played against Snoots. I think it was on Waystation, which definitely helped, you know, one of those big maps where you can move around a lot. And he ended up just making a bunch of sentries, stalkers, some immortal, and he moved around with the mothership, just sniping bases, slowing down the creep, while he was already taking into a lot of targets, Tempest, and a massive air army with which he did a lot of damage and then finished the game. So that's what was one of the things which could do well against a Zerg that goes into Swarm host and that you know will go into Swarm host. But then what happened is that Zergs adjusted. They got their Spires sometimes, they got enough static defense not to take any damage here and there. And as long as you get enough Corruptors against Tempest, if it's made early too, you're going to do fine. So now they know how to play against air. So now you need to decide whether you want to go into air early on or if you want to stay on the ground. If you want to stay on the ground, the timings are going to be so short and they're going to be so tricky to make work. And herO wasn't able to make any of them work in the previous game.
No, but what he could perhaps make work, Johan, is one of the cheerfuls that I just saw the audience. Hashtag Roddy Build. I've seen them. Are you guys still having fun behind us?
Sounds like they are.
Do you guys want to see more Swarm host? No, okay, well, I can't promise it. I can't promise it. We're almost good to go for game number 3 between herO and Snoot. Of course, if Snoot advances to the semifinals, he will go up against the winner of our next series, which is going to be E.G. Jaedong versus Gumio from Invasion Esport. I think that's going to be a cracker, mate.
Did you see that Snoot was channeling, man? Like in Dragon Ball, everybody was sending him strains.
Yeah.
All the foreigners in the world.
How was it called? The Spirit Ball? Right? The big attack? Ah, damn it, my GBZ knowledge is failing me. Anyways, over here on the left top side of merry-go-round, he needs your support right now. He made it to 3 IEM finals, but he's on the rope. Give it up for CJ enters herO. Even on the ropes even, not just on the rope. Well, he may be on one rope, but I think it's more, yo.
He must be nervous, the way it's been going. But his opponents, starting in the bottom hand side of merry-go-round, playing as the red Zerg, it is Liquid Snoot! Who had some quite a few great moves. Snoot, as much as he plays defensive a lot of the time and with Swarm host, I feel like he's one of the players with some of the best killer instinct out there. Especially in that first game, he showcased it correctly. You called it early on, he was going to make Hydras, and since he was up against Stargates, there was a very good chance he would attack. He did, and then did a ton of damage. He knows when he has to attack, and that's really something that's even some great players miss sometimes.
Yep, and then you have the players like me who just always attack. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And then there is not really a whole lot of reasoning behind it. Now with these spawning locations, I truly believe that this is going to be a short and explosive game. There's no way that herO is going to take his sweet time for this one, that he's going to play against a 4-base Snoot over here. That is just not going to happen. I don't know what approach he's going to take yet, but I wouldn't be surprised to maybe see some War Prism shenanigans, because this is one of these maps where sometimes War Prisms fly into the main. It can be a little tricky because of course the third base from Snoot is going to spot War Prisms coming in, and otherwise you have to fly over the entire base. It's also a great map for some Blink Stalker play. If you drop a pylon on the high ground near the third base of Snoot, it's going to be very difficult for Snoot exactly over there. It's very easy for Protoss to micro. It's very difficult for a Zerg player to figure out whether or not they have to run up that ramp, and if you do it once, it's very difficult to retreat. So I think this is going to be short and fun and explosive. And was this a hedge first, by the way?
Yeah, it looks like it. Snoot mixing it up here maybe a little bit. The thing here about herO is that he's opening completely differently this time. Something that I could see work against what Snoot has been doing, especially since he likes to skip on the road run or, you know, toes it as a safety sometimes if he feels like he might get cheesed, is you open with a 1-gate core Nexus like herO's doing now. You go into 3 or 4 gate pressure with Zealots to force a lot of units, and then you get a Robo and you do the Sand Immortal Push. I think that there is a very good chance, especially on this map. On this map, this is probably the strongest build against Zerg. And when you have herO's execution, herO's force fields, herO's vision, it's going to be such a strong build to play with. So I really think we might see something like that here of herO. But he did make a Zealot and a Mothership Core to already pressure. How many gateways do you think he's going to go up to with this?
I mean, I think 3 is the best. I think 4 is too much because there is speed on the way. So you're not going to kill a Zerg that's on 2 bases that's opening up with speed. I feel Snoot is already making quite a few links, by the way. I think there's a chance that he's going to make a few more than we normally see and maybe try to go for a cheeky little run by as 10 Zerglings start up. Apollo's putting on his cheeky face right now on the right of us and he's giving us a wink. I can see it. It's coming.
Actually not.
Yes, totally, Sean.
2 extra gates, you are on the money with this. No Forge just yet and a Sentry. So I guess no kind of Stalkers, Zealots.
He needs to...
pressure.
Okay, that goes actually... He's going to go 2 in the front and he's going to drop 1 in the main base. So this is really interesting because Snoot is making way more Zerglings than a Zerg player normally does. And CG Enter's herO is making, you know, 4 gateways, which is something you don't normally do against the speed opening.
You know, this is so smart. I think Snoot realized that he was going to be up against a Protoss that will move out at some point. Oh my god,
it's 4 gates going up now. So it's a 5-gate opening by CG.
Oh, it's the rain build.
This is just weird, Johan, because... it all depends on when herO figures out that Snoot has way more Zerglings than he normally has. And if he figures this out in time, he's going to be able to hold this very easily.
Yeah, I think Snoot should have revealed here that he was going for this many links. He should have just hit them, wait for herO to move out, and then kill everything that he had. Now Rain has a proxy pylon on the map. He's going to be able to defend back at home.
Rain?
herO, sorry. It's the Rain build, man.
It is a solid Rain build. But still, if I was herO now, okay, just keep your calm at first and then start warping in some units. Force Snoot to make more and more Zerglings to defend against stuff like this, or even if you can just cancel this hatchery, that's already good enough. Oh, he cancels one of the pylons.
In terms of walkers, herO should be ahead. He's making them 2 by 2 now. He's making two more probes very continuously every single time, whereas we have a Snoot who's been making only links, who's right now supply blocked. He's even getting a spine. So if you can pull ahead on probes here and maybe throw down a Robo, the follow-up will be very strong for herO. But since he's on 5 gates, he might choose to commit to this a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think this is a solid attack by herO. I think herO is going to start working his way through this hatchery. I don't think there's any saving this hatch. The Zerglings are going to try to intercept some reinforcements, maybe pick up the pylon, but it doesn't matter. This hatchery is going to die, and that's all that herO was looking for. So herO strikes back in this series and gets a very, very good pickup over here in game number 3.
And here goes the Robo here. I really think we might see the Sand builds with the Immortal Push follow-up after the big gateway aggression. He was just pulling back towards these Zealots to try and defend. No recall just yet has been forced. He could literally just stay there, keep on warping Zealots to force Zerglings, and at the same time build up his own economy, start getting sentries plus Immortals, and then do the Immortals attack and finish the game.
Yep. I mean, even these traits are very good for herO right now. Snoot is in a little bit of trouble. I think, by the way, for the people who wonder, like, why did Snoot make so many Zerglings early on, and why did he just show them? I think that Snoot was banking on the fact that herO was going to go for a 1-gate Stargate build, maybe open up with Phoenixes. Sometimes they skip the Mothership Core if they rush up to Phoenixes, and I think that's why he just wanted to break through with Zerglings, because if all you have is like 1 gateway and then you go up to Stargate, you have almost nothing to deal with that amount of Zerglings early on. But the opposite was true. herO opened up with 5 gateways. Well, then all the Zerglings are going to be utterly useless.
You talked about War Prism earlier, and what do you think he's going to try to achieve with this one? Flying to the main and drop some Zealots, or really go for the... I guess we have the answer now.
Yeah, I think we have the answer.
4 sentries loaded up, and this could do a lot of damage. He's only on 5 gates still, right? I guess
Yes.
I say only 5 gates. It's actually a ton.
5 gates is more than enough. He, of course, has the Immort as well. I think Snoot is already picking up on the fact what herO is going to try to do
He
over
could
here.
lock in him the main, actually.
Yeah, just fly to the low ground and then drop the force field there. Be the ultimate dirty Protoss. I know you want it. Those victories feel good. They should count twice. When you block someone in his main,
They actually don't count for the Zerg.
it makes my Protoss heart beat so much faster. You know? 2 extra gates going down. Soon the Immortals will start popping up. The infestation pit is halfway down though,
Yeah.
so herO, he still has time, he still has some wiggle room, but don't give Snoot too much freedom now, because then before you know it, suddenly you're looking at 12 Swarmos and you're not going to kill it anymore with Sentries and Immortals. I don't like that. I really don't like it. herO should just win.
He should just win.
Yes. This is one of these moments where you're like, hey Snoot, I'm sorry, but I'm here to win. Like, I don't want this game to go on any further.
Yeah, Snoot is quite far behind, and actually going to Swarmos is probably the most viable choice in this situation. If you had tried to go for Mudas, would have got shut down really hard.
It's going to trap
Some
a
kind of
couple
Hydra or
drones here,
Roaches
mate.
as well.
Gonna drop some force fields, get the
God.
drones. Really good force fields there by herO. I like it. Look at these zealots. The zealots are still able to enter. At the same time, he's sniping a hatchery as well in the middle of the map. This is some sexy play by herO. This is the type of play that we expected to see from him.
herO saying, I'm not here for a top 8. I want to make it to the finals here. And it looks like he may be able to bring him back in game 3, in which case, if you're Snoot, you will have to be very careful not to get upset and start overthinking, oh god, like, is this really happening again? Because he did mention in the past that this is what happened up against Flash, you know, after he was up 2-0, he lost 1 game and then it only went downhill from there.
I think he's just a lot more confident in general in this matchup though, and he's probably wondering like, oh, why did I make all those Zerglings early on? Why did I play into his hands? Because often when a Protoss player is behind after 2 macro games, they will start being very aggressive in game number 3. So just playing it safe, going for a macro game but dropping a Roach Warren is often your best bet as a Zerg player. And 9 out of 10 times you're just receiving some Zealot pressure while your Roaches are ready and you're like, ship it straight to the bank, not taking any damage of these Zealots.
Even Walker count here with 44 against 44. The cash hosts are out. Snoot is not out of this, man. He's been given a lot of time to make some Swarmos. I really feel like herO's timing here is going to have to hit hard because he's going to be in trouble otherwise.
I'm going to go full Yo on Mellow here on you, and sorry, he's kind of out
Well,
of
I
it,
mean,
man.
I'm not saying Snoot's winning, but
I know, but you always do that to me, Yo, and that's why I like to do it in return.
herO's timing is very scary. I wonder what Snoot's best score. I guess he has to sack that 3rd, obviously, but does he stay up the ramp?
Oh.
And trying, if he got Vipers though against a 2-base Protoss, it's very hard to get both Colossus.
I mean, herO is still in a very good position, but he indeed has to be a little bit careful. He's up 30 army supply.
He needs to get in there.
Yeah, he exactly. He just needs to get nice and close, give these Swarmos a cheeky cuddle, if you will, and just go all out with it.
Roddy. He needs to do more than a cheeky cuddle here to those units because he needs to take them out. And quite a few Swarmos, but Locusts are dying as they come out. The second Colossus will join the fray now. Okay, Guardian Shield, here we go. I was going to say no Guardian Shield, then he pops 3.
Oh, he really needs to pick this Locust wave off like almost immediately, and he has to get indeed a little closer than just giving these Swarmos a cuddle. He needs to start killing them. It's still looking good for herO, don't get me wrong,
Where's
but he
the
really,
Observer?
oh, did he lose it? No, no.
I don't see the Observer here.
Oh my god. He's taking quite a bit of damage from these Locusts, and the Locust numbers are going up. Now, this is not actually happening. Okay, there we go.
Snoot, he's trying to hold on here. He needs to hold on. He started losing a lot of units, including all of his queens. Swarmos are going to start dying left and right. Still 2 Colossus plus 2 Immortals in the middle of this army. herO is doing it right now. He's bringing it back.
Yep, he's getting nice and close. GG is called, and herO, a Korean Protoss player, strikes back. He too gets a point on the board. And the score now is 2-1 in favor of Snoot in this best of 5. The first best of 5 that's being played on the main stage today. I believe there is still some StarCraft 2 action at ESL TV on the score. SC2 as well, SC2B, excuse me, for the second best of 5 that's currently being played between Bomber and Revival. I have no idea what the score is. I would love an update of that actually. Oh, okay, we just got an update, and that score is actually 1-0 in favor of Bomber. So Bomber looking a little better than he did yesterday.
All right, Kevin. He took off the jackets. It happened. He just did it. What's going to happen now? We're going to go into high gear. I raised the 30 Swarmos with 45.
I don't recommend 45 Swarmos.
Why?
I don't know, that just seems like...
Vipers and Spores,
it seems a little too much. But I mean...
There's never enough Swarmos, man.
Never say never. We are getting ready for game number 4. Game number 3 was indeed merry-go-round. So we have 2 maps left. We have Catalina left and we have Nimbus left, correct?
Yeah, Nimbus was 4th, I remember. So
okay.
Nimbus next, oh god, this is the map.
This
that
is the
last
map.
time. It was the final map when he played against herO, and this was a very, very long game. On Nimbus, actually, like, I'm not sure if you go for the same kind of build here as herO, it can do well, but it's going to be much easier to spot in terms of having overlords in good positions. You know, on merry-go-round, he was able to hide some pylons.
Yeah, I know.
And that's why he reinforced so well.
I definitely don't think we're going to see something like that. I can see this game playing out the same way as Overgrowth played out, but then I do believe that herO can make work what he was trying to make work on Overgrowth. You know, warping in a lot of zealots with your warp systems, attacking at multiple locations at once, avoiding the swarmos, dropping some force fields, picking off bases. You can do that on Nimbus because you can run full circle. There is a lot of good opportunities for your warp presence to warp in, whether it's at in-base natural or even still in the main, like on the low ground of your natural. It's just a much better map for that playstyle. I truly believe that you can win with Colossus and Stalker play on the map. It's not easy, especially not against Snoot, but it's doable. While on Overgrowth, it's just like almost impossible.
Usually it goes like that, but last time that they played, Snoot showed that he's the best at this style by far because he can even make it work on maps like Nimbus, big maps where a Protoss could comfortably take a lot of bases. So Snoot, does he try to play the same style just because he's so good at it, or maybe he mixes it up, play to his image, knowing that herO this time will be better ready against the Swarmo style and maybe mix in something different, go Swarmos, say for example, and then sieges a lot more, maybe even some kind of Nidus Swarmos could be very strong. On this map, you're never going to expect it. A lot of the time it's going to be very hard to scout. If it goes down and up close to your third base or something, it's going to be very hard to break that position. And we've seen already some Nidus early on in this tournament be very successful. When Symbol used it. I guess it was against Darren, but still.
Well, Johan, I feel like the host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire right now because we are going to figure this out right after the commercial break.